At Healthcare Partners Medical Group, our mission is to provide the highest quality of healthcare to each and every patient. With 5 locations in Pahrump, we are local doctors you know and trust. We want to thank you for choosing us. Quality care starts here.
Pahrump Nugget is giving away a laptop every day in the month of July at 8 p.m. Earn 3 times the entries on Sundays. Ask about our bingo specials, lower buy-ins, higher payouts, and free gifts. Where their fun never stops, the Pahrump Nugget Hotel and Casino.
You're watching KPVM News 46. Weekend Review. With Deanna O'Donnell. And Jason Koblenz.
Welcome to News 46's Weekend Review, your #1 source for local news. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Zach Fuentes in for Jason Koblenz today. A man by the first name of Keith was involved in a 3.5-hour standoff with law enforcement Monday evening on Cajon Street, located just north of Kellogg Road. Keith allegedly told deputies that he is a former best friend of James Chafin. Chafin is the man responsible for murdering 24-year-old K-9 deputy Ian Deutsch on April 26 in front of Lakeside Casino. Keith told dispatch that he wanted to die and that he planned to go out like his friend James, who was shot and killed by deputies after he killed Deputy Deutsch. Keith apparently had a 9mm weapon at the residence.
We received a call, it was approximately 3:30, I believe, of a suicidal subject, and deputies initially responded to location. We were told that he was armed with a rifle and that he wanted the deputies to kill him, suicide by cop. The initial negotiator was Captain Bill Beck. Those negotiations broke down. We always have a secondary negotiator on scene. I was a secondary negotiator. I was able to establish a rapport with him, and I talked to him for about 2.5 hours, and I was able to convince him to come out. He made several threats during the time that I was talking to him about wanting to die. We were able to get his son involved as well. And his son was able to talk to him, and between me and his son, we were able to convince him to come out and let us get him the help that he needs.
There was a female involved too.
There was. I don't know the extent of the female. I was brought in for negotiations.
And there was 3 subjects that arrived on scene, one of them being his son, and then 2 others who were telling you that they could talk to him and talk him down. So bringing in his son, and that was the Andrew, right?
I don't know about the other subjects on scene, but when I was about 90% sure that he was going to come out, he asked me to show him some good faith and let him talk to his son. So we brought the son up and kept his son out of harm's way in case a shooting did occur. And the son and I were able to push him that last 10% to get him to come out peacefully.
We brought in SWAT, and also there were some tense moments there for a little while, wondering if he was watching you, if he perhaps had his eye on you as far as shooting.
Well, you never know in these type of situations. We don't know what's in the house. We don't know how many people are in the house. We don't know what type of weapons he has. We have really good trained negotiators. We've been through the FBI school, through Metro school. So we were pretty confident that we could talk him down.
Any prior history with law enforcement with this individual?
Nothing significant, just a little complaints here and there, but nothing significant, no.
Was there a time where he told you that he was a friend of the suspect or that killed Ian Deutsch?
There was. He said that he was his best friend, and I don't know the suspect's name. I don't recall the name, but he did say that he wanted to go out like him.
So he was thinking perhaps about taking out a cop too as well?
Well, afterwards he said that he wasn't, that all that he would have done is pointed a gun at us to get us to fire upon him, but we didn't give him that opportunity. When this type of thing happens, we mobilize our department as best as we can. We try to evacuate the neighbors so that there's no innocent bystanders that are injured, and this is what we get paid to do.
And in the negotiations, did he seem like he was willing to go all the way, or did it seem like there might be a hint that maybe he needed some help and that he was hoping you guys would talk to him?
I think that I would classify it more as somebody reaching out for help, somebody that wasn't serious about that. I felt that after talking with him about 10-15 minutes that I could talk him down, and I was able to, like I said, after about 2.5 hours to bring him out.
And so how old do you think this individual is?
I would say he's probably in his late 40s, maybe maybe mid-40s to late 40s.
And any other things that you'd like to add?
I'm just glad that it came out okay and that he's all right and our officers are all right.
Keith was reportedly transported to Desert View Hospital after being arrested for obstruction, then subsequently transported to a Las Vegas mental health facility for psychiatric treatment. Another person was arrested on the scene Monday night for obstruction. The subject was an older man who apparently attempted to rush the scene. Deputies apprehended the man, who was transported to the Nye County Detention Center. Tuesday afternoon, Nye County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to the same location for an apparent suicidal female who had a .38 caliber handgun. She allegedly stated that she wanted to end her life and that she was not afraid to use the weapon. Deputies immediately made contact with the female. She was reportedly transported for treatment. The gun was confiscated for safekeeping by deputies.
And continuing with that story, the Nye County Sheriff's Office has issued a press release regarding Monday's standoff on Cajon Street. On Monday at approximately 3:30 in the afternoon, deputies responded to 6781 South Cajon for a domestic disturbance. Initial reports were that the male half of the dispute, reported to be Keith Rechtenwald, was in possession of a firearm and intended on reacting violently when officers arrived. Initial responding officers were positioned at the north and south of the residence, restricting traffic in the area and monitoring the situation, while additional units and supervision responded. While securing the scene, according to the report, a male by the name of Harry Rude approached the residence, attempting to go to the address that was under surveillance. He attempted to proceed past the said roadblock and refused to cooperate with officers' commands to leave the area. This caused all three deputies on scene to focus their attention off the suspect house. Rude stated that officers could not stop him and that they would have to shoot him. Rude was eventually physically removed from the vehicle, at which time he physically resisted officers' attempts to place him in handcuffs. Multiple additional units arrived on scene, as well as Nye County Sheriff's Office administration. Nye County Sheriff's SWAT was deployed as negotiations were attempted. Residents from the surrounding area were evacuated. After approximately 2 hours of negotiations, the male in the residence, positively identified as Keith Rechtenwald, surrendered and was successfully taken into custody without injury. Numerous firearms were located inside the residence and recovered for safekeeping. After the incident, Rechtenwald disclosed that he had been using methamphetamines in the days prior and was coming down from those drugs. He was transported to Desert View Hospital for a medical evaluation, where he submitted to a urine sample that produced a presumptive positive result for methamphetamines. He was released from the hospital and subsequently transported to the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center without incident. Keith Rechtenwald has been charged with under the influence of a controlled substance, prohibited persons in possession of a firearm, hinder, obstruct, delay law enforcement officers. Harry Rude has been charged with hinder, obstruct, and delay law enforcement officers and resisting a public officer. He's being held on $1,274 bail. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
The man who fired shots at two Nye County Sheriff's deputies on June 30th was in court on Monday. Edward Garza is being charged with 2 counts of attempted murder of a peace officer, 2 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, discharging a firearm within or from a structure, aiming a firearm at a human being, or discharging a weapon where a person might be in danger, and carrying a concealed weapon without a permit. The district attorney has asked for his bail to be set at $500,000 cash instead of cash or bond. Judge Brisbaugh has rejected that request, saying that the bail amount that has been set is reasonable. On June 30th, Deputies Summer Danaker and Wesley Fancher responded to a domestic disturbance located at 4790 Mance Road. And upon arrival, Garza allegedly fired at deputies several times. Garza was struck 2 times in the chest and subsequently airlifted to UMC Trauma in Las Vegas.
And a 2-vehicle accident occurred last week in the intersection of Blagg and Simpkins. A 2-vehicle accident occurred yesterday afternoon at Blagg and Simpkins in front of the Horizon Market. One vehicle being a truck and the other vehicle being a white sedan. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue medics checked out one occupant in the sedan upon arrival. Nye County Sheriff's deputies conducted traffic around the accident, while medics checked out all occupants of both vehicles. All occupants declined to be transported. Nye County Sheriff's deputies are investigating. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
2 vehicles collided last Saturday afternoon at Blosser Ranch Road and Highway 160.
A 2-vehicle rear-end collision occurred on Saturday afternoon at Highway 160 and Blosser Ranch Road. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue arrived on scene along with Nye County Sheriff's deputies and Nevada Highway Patrol. It appears that the white compact car struck the rear end of this black Mustang, spinning the vehicle around and hitting a stop sign. The young adult and the child inside the Mustang claimed only minor injuries in the accident. The other occupants of the other vehicle claimed no injuries. They were all checked out on scene. Traffic was blocked in all directions while the investigation was being conducted. Nevada Highway Patrol is conducting that investigation. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. We'll be right back with much more local news when News 46's Week in Review returns. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. 1,600 Valley Electric members lost power Thursday afternoon. Lightning caused 2 of the 3 outages. The third was a bird caused. The outages were near the center of town, north to Mesquite Road and west to David Street. Crews worked furiously to restore the power in about an hour and a half. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, the Nye County Sheriff's Office, and Desert View Hospital all lost power. The hospital's massive generators kicked in flawlessly for their patients. There were also reports of flooding throughout town, in particular near Bella Vista and Simpkins. As always, please be careful in areas of flooding. It is always best to take an alternate route around the area rather than to drive through.
And 3 suspects have been taken into custody following a reported robbery. At approximately 12:30 on Thursday morning, deputies and detectives were dispatched to LJ's Market on Highway 372 for a report of a robbery. Upon arriving, detectives discovered that Colton Walker had allegedly been robbed by threat of force. He reported that David Tassler and Alfonso Bell threatened to beat him up and then physically took cash from his person and left the scene. Deputies were able to locate David Tassler and Alfonso Bell at Green Valley Grocery on Highway 372 and Blagg Road. During interviews conducted at the scene, it was determined that Tassler alleges that Walker owed him some money. Tassler and Bell saw Walker at LJ's Market and confronted him. Several threats were made about getting beat up for the owed money. Bell then physically removed the money from Walker's person and they left the scene. Money was recovered from the location where Tassler and Bell were stopped and it was seized as evidence. Both Tassler and Bell were placed under arrest and transported to the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center and booked on robbery, larceny, and conspiracy to commit a crime. During the investigation, Nye County Sheriff's Office detectives identified that Colton Walker was under the influence of a controlled substance. Walker was arrested for being under the influence and was transported to Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center and booked on charges. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
An air conditioning unit is possibly the reason why a home caught fire Wednesday afternoon on the south end of town.
We were dispatched for a report of a structure fire. Initially, it was reported to be an air conditioning unit of some type on the outside of the house, which was well involved in the fire and was in direct connection with the structure. Upon arrival, we found a double-wide manufactured dwelling. We actually had flame on what we call the CD corner, which is the corner of the house and where it meets the side. And we had fire showing. It was presenting in the roof line. Crews made a good aggressive interior attack, halted the forward progress. They protected the exposures, which consisted of 2 vehicles and a detached 2-car garage. No injuries considering the heat and the humidity today. The guys and gals just did an awesome job, and it halted the forward progress of the fire in a timely fashion.
Lieutenant, we send the crews in to do a search.
Absolutely. We always want to go and look and see if there's anybody in there, any animals, persons. And the initial one came back negative, secondary came back negative.
And there's some arcing going on.
That'd be the power pedestal order that was involved. And Valley Electric's on scene now to shut down the power and make it a little easier for us.
What's it like to fight the fire around when you have some live electricity like that?
You just use a greater degree of caution. You know, notify everybody. Chief did a great job telling everybody that we had the condition there, and so it was something we were able to watch out for.
What equipment do we have on scene?
You have an engine company, you have a tender for water supply, number of medical units that were actually out on other calls and transitioned over. So again, a good assortment, full crews, including volunteers. The RIT team was in place. Everything was done real safe. Make sure, because as you mentioned earlier, had electrical arcing equipment. And that appears to be the area of origin too, which appears to be a power pedestal. And so we're going to be looking at that for the investigation today. But extra caution taken considering the unknown status of any occupants, electrical arcing, and a fast-moving fire.
What is being dubbed as the Timber Fire began Wednesday night at 5 p.m. The fire could be seen from all over Pahrump, and reports also came from Las Vegas. The lightning-caused fire was mistakenly first reported as 2 fires because of the location on the ridge near Cold Creek and Indian Springs. Ray Johnston from the Forestry Service said this afternoon that a helicopter over the area confirmed that a total of 10 acres has burned. Two 20-person crews were en route on Thursday afternoon from the Division of Forestry Conservation Corps. However, they were delayed due to weather in the form of rain and lightning. The fire is under control at this time.
Well, last Saturday night, Pahrump residents gathered together to watch Rango during movies in the park. The movie this Saturday, today, will be Transformers.
Our first kickoff is with the 4th of July weekend, or 4th of July celebration. We then have our next one will be at the Ian Duch Park, and then the one following that, the 21st, will be back here at this park, at Petrick Park, in celebration of the Pahrump's 50th anniversary.
These are all free to the public, and we have quite an array of movies that are out. Can you give us a little schedule?
Yes. Well, tonight we're starting with Rango, as I said. Next week will be Transformers. The week after that, July 21st, is Happy Feet 2. Happy Feet 2. Then Journey 2 after that. We just selected Big Miracle to be on August 4th. Tintin. And then after that, and then Tooth Fairy 2. And the last movie, which is August 25th, is a mystery movie, so you got to come out and see what that is.
And are the rest of these going to be at Ian Duch Park, or are we going to be at Petrick and kind of alternating?
Petrick Park for the 21st for the 50th, and after that it'll all be at Ian Duch Park, Field 3.
And speaking of the 50th, that's what we're going to be here for, right? The 50th birthday party of the town of Pahrump.
Yes, it's a celebration of the 50th anniversary. We will have a booth, Park and Rec will have a booth telling the people. We actually are going to have a questionnaire asking them what their favorite park is, what they would like to see in the parks. That's what our Park and Rec does. We hear the people, what do they want to see in the parks, what they'd like to have in the parks. And also we're going to be talking about the programs and the things we have going on now too.
And you guys are becoming more interactive, aren't you?
Yeah, we try and keep in listen to the people. In fact, right next to us here in Field C, that's getting ready to be lit. It's going to have lights put up on Field C, so it gives more opportunity for soccer, baseball, or what other activities that can be done at night. So they're going to have this field lit up by October.
And that's something that the town of Pahrump just approved, and that's a big improvement, isn't it?
Very big improvement, not just the quality of the lighting that we're getting, but it opens up the field for more youth sports and all that, so keeps them busy.
Are we going to be looking at some more activities like this, free activities for the public to participate in and kind of give the kids something to do?
We're keeping in tune every year with what they call the movies at the park night. We're going to continue doing that. We're looking at other things we're going to try and interact, and we do have possibilities of maybe basketball courts going up, things like that in the other parks, so kids can come out and do more. Instead of having one basketball court here, we're going to have another one at another park.
And stay tuned for more of News 46's Week in Review.